Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of Klis Mike Drop. And we're kind of in between here, the NFL owners meetings and the draft. Less than 2 weeks to go from the draft. We did have the Colorado Hall of Fame a couple weeks ago, or actually it wasn't a couple weeks ago, a couple days ago. Talked to Simon Fletcher and Pat Surtain. You're going to hear from them here in this podcast. But before we get started, I just want to say I've always felt overdressed for these podcasts. You know, you look at these podcasts that have popped up everywhere, and it seems like everyone has a podcast. They should have Jim the Next Door Neighbor podcast. I'm sure they have one. But all of them seem to, these dudes have T-shirts. You know, they haven't shaved in 4 or 5 days. They got ball caps. Very casual. They look like I did when I was dressing for high school. And, so anyway, I always try to wear a coat and tie. I'm gonna go in between. I'm gonna loosen up the tie today. How's that? In honor of the podcast look. This is as far as I'm gonna go for a little while. Maybe I'll take the tie off eventually. But we're here at Klis Mike Drop, and we talk Broncos during this segment. And one thing we were able to do. One thing that I was able to do as a Broncos beat writer, seems like every year I go to the Colorado Sports Hall of Fame banquet that's held at the Westin downtown city center. It's a great event. A lot of speeches, and some of the speeches are boring. Some of them are funny, and always a good meal served. You get the best thing about it is hobnobbing with so many luminaries from Denver and Colorado. Not only athletes, but politicians and administrators and key people that make the world go round here in Denver, Colorado. And they had a class of 6. Mikaela Shiffrin, I thought, was the headliner. I mean, she's the best downhill women's skier in world history, I think you can argue. Hope she gets it, rebounds and has a nice Olympics next year. But we also got to talk. Simon Fletcher was a Bronco who went in, and Simon got a chance to talk to him. He's really impressed with the Broncos now. You'll hear as he talked. He really is high on Sean Payton and Bo Nix. Wasn't too certain about the Broncos a couple of years ago. Who was? But Simon goes in, and he was really gratified and honored. Because, it's one thing to go in the Ring of Fame, which he did with the Broncos in 2016. And it took him a while, if I remember right. I think it took him almost 25 years to get into the Ring of Fame. The thing about the Colorado Sports Hall of Fame is you rub elbows with greats of all sports. I mean, to me, the biggest kick I get, look at my age here, but the biggest kick I get is Peggy Fleming. She shows up. She lives in the Denver area. She goes to all the banquets every year with her husband. And Peggy Fleming won the gold medal in figure skating in 1968. But let's listen to Simon Fletcher, both what he thinks of the Colorado Sports Hall of Fame banquet and also what he thinks of the 2025 Broncos. So look at this strapping young gentleman I have here today.
Young? Okay,
Simon Fletcher. And Simon, you went into the Broncos Ring of Fame a few years ago, 2018, I think? 16, okay. But it was still overdue. Tell us about this one. I think what's kind of neat here, that's about football. This is about all the sports.
Exactly. That's about football, and this is not only about all the sports. It's about collegiate, pro. It's about great coaches, great administrators, and it covers every area of the state of Colorado, which adopted me shortly after my arrival in 1985. So it's good to be counted among these exceptional men and women.
Yeah, you were a fantastic pass rusher for the Broncos in the 80s and 90s. Had the team record 97.5 till Von Miller came along. Give us your favorite sack.
Favorite sack? It was 1993, and just before the game, during pregame warm-up, Al Michaels of ABC Television on a Monday night, he came over and he goes, "Fletch, are you aware that if you could get half a sack tonight, you set a new NFL record, 10 games in a row?"
Okay.
I said, I wasn't aware of that. We'll see what we can get done. We go in, come out for start the game, second play of the game. I get an easy speed rush up the field, spin inside, all over Montana, and before you know it, the record is set.
Joe Montana. And tell us what you think about the Broncos, what they've done here the last couple of years, what they've done this offseason.
Well, 2 years ago, I was not certain,
Yeah.
and I think that where we're positioned now with what Coach Payton is doing and with the quarterback situation and the other players that they're adding, I think 2025, going into 26, the Broncos will show up in the Super Bowl and nix any chance that the Chiefs have at going back to that championship game.
Simon, we need to switch places. You're pretty good. You're a good talker there. All right, we talked to Simon Fletcher, and also stopping by at the banquet was Pat Surtain, the Broncos' great cornerback. He was one of the Pro Athletes of the Year from the Colorado Sports Hall of Fame, along with Nikola Jokic, and also with McKinnon from the Avalanche. So quite a group there, quite a trio. We talked to Pat Surtain about some of the Broncos' additions this offseason. A couple that really are going to directly impact him. Let's hear from Pat Surtain. Well, Pat, first of all, congratulations. Pro Athlete of the Year. I believe that's what it is at the Colorado Sports Hall of Fame. I mean, you've racked them up this year. The big one was the Defensive Player of the Year, right?
Yeah, for sure. It's another huge honor for me, added to my resume, you know what I mean? So I'm definitely very honored to be accepting this award to go along the lineage of Colorado greats, and so it's a huge honor for sure.
The nice thing about this, I was talking to Simon Fletcher, the other awards you got were football. Here you kind of share with all the athletes of all the sports, and that makes it a little special.
Yeah, it does make it a little special. Like me, Jokic, tremendous amount of other guys that I get to share this stage with. Like I said, we got a great deal over here in Colorado, and to add my name to that list, it's such a huge honor for sure.
Now, your team has been busy this offseason, picked up a couple of defensive players. Let's talk about Ofonga, first of all. Safeties. Sounds like he's going to be kind of like a captain back there for you.
Yeah, I think he's definitely going to be an anchor on the defense. Just with his experience, obviously got all pros, Pro Bowls, but him being there, being a leader, him being a ball hawk, looking over the defense, I think that's going to be a huge addition. He's a great player, and I'm looking forward to working with him.
You were Defensive Player of the Year, which is the top honor. So what do you do for an encore?
Do for an encore? Shoot, I think to add to it, I think a Super Bowl is definitely an encore to it. But definitely coming off Defensive Player of the Year, just to add more winning seasons for sure.
Yeah.
So.
All right, thanks to Pat Surtain and Simon Fletcher for talking to us from the Colorado Sports Hall of Fame last week. Now this week, of course, all eyes are on the draft and what the Broncos will do with the draft. The big need is running back, a 3-down running back preferably. And the Broncos will get that. I say the Broncos will get that running back somewhere between the number 20 pick that they have in the first round and the 51st pick they have in the second round. If they don't take a running back at number 20, though, I think there's a chance they trade back to get that running back, or from 51 they trade up to get that running back. You don't wait till 51 to get that running back. There's some good ones, yes, but and maybe they like Damian Martinez from Miami that they can get with that number 51 pick or number 85 pick. But I wouldn't. I tell you what, I wouldn't fool around. I would draft a round ahead to get the running back you like, rather than wait and get cute and maybe try to get a extra draft pick. They need I think they're a running back away from being legit contenders in the Final Four in the NFL, if all goes well. The Broncos are in good shape. If they get a running back and they can keep Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs off the field and control the game the way Sean Payton wants to, if they get a legit 1,000-yard running back, I think the Broncos can be in legit contention for the Final Four. Maybe not the Super Bowl, still got that $32 million dead cap with Russell Wilson, but 2026 they should be legit Super Bowl contenders. For the draft, the Broncos have brought in all these pre-draft prospects for visits at their headquarters out at Dove Valley. And 9 News has got 20 of them, 22 if you include the local visits with Terrence Ferguson and Gunnar Helm, the local tight ends. But one thing I want to say about some of these guys they've had in, one aspect that I found really interesting, the Broncos brought in for pre-draft visits Matthew Golden and Maxwell Hairston, the 2 fastest guys in this draft. Hairston, a cornerback from Kentucky, he's had 3 pick sixes the last year and a half. He hurt his shoulder, little infection, it's cleaned out, everything's fine now. But Hairston had 3 pick sixes the last 2 years at Kentucky. He ran the 40 in 4.28. Matthew Golden, receiver from Texas, had a big year. He ran the 40 in 4.29. 2 fastest guys, and there used to be a big speed gap at the skill positions between the Chiefs and the Broncos. Broncos have closed that in recent years. Marvin Mims can fly. Troy Franklin can fly. If they get one of these 2 guys, Golden and Hairston, the Broncos will be right there with the Chiefs. So thank you for tuning in and listening and watching Klis's Mike Drop. We'll do this next week. We're going to be talking to Sean Payton and George Payton. We'll talk about what they have to say in our podcast next week. The Broncos have the number 20 and 51 and 85 picks in the first 2 days of the draft. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.